So this video shows you how to use Illumi with Redshift. So you access Illumi from the Ignite toolbar or from the top drop-down menu, and there it is there, Illumi HDRI Wizard. So if you click on that, that's going to bring up the UI, which is where you load in all your HDRIs from. So this is an update to Illumi, so the settings tab is now on the UI. So you add in all your HDRI paths. So that way, now they all appear in the list here. So you can actually go through and click on them. So for this exercise, we're going to use a couple. So maybe I'll choose one of these daylight ones. There is another video that demonstrates and shows you how to adjust the exposure on the previews, but that's in another exercise. So I have turned off merge in recommended camera because I have one set up in the scene. So I've selected the physical camera. I don't want to show the HDRI in the viewport, and now all I need to do is click on import the HDRI. So that's going to import that into the scene. It's going to align the lights to the actual HDRI, and so that all that lighting should be set up for you. That's as simple as it gets for using HDRI. Now to demonstrate that, we'll just quickly show you the compass in the side menu. So here you can see we've turned off the background, show background. I'm going to rotate the HDRI to a good position, and let's have a look at the exposure first, because just to point out, if you're not familiar with Redshift, Redshift has its own exposure post effects. It doesn't use the physical camera exposure, so it's got all its own settings. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. Now, the HDRI tool does use IPR rendering as well as standard rendering. So let's just have a look. We won't cover that just yet, but you can see I've started rendering this. I've now got the photographic exposure control over on the right. Now the f-stop and shutter speed overwrites the f-stop in the Illumi compass. So bear that in mind. Use the settings that Redshift give you and control it that way. So let's just rotate this HDRI to say that position there. Next, or maybe we want to bring that just back around a bit more. Something like that. It's quite overexposed. Let's actually look at the image exposure. So you can adjust that. I'm going to adjust the f-stop now in Redshift. See, now we can actually bring up the image exposure in Illumi, and you can just balance it and play around that way. Looks a bit overexposed. Maybe we want to come up here. We want to adjust the exposure, slightly change that. Again, it's a bit of a to and fro process, just balancing between the Redshift's controls and the Illumi controls. This exercise is not about teaching how to use Redshift, it's showing you how our Illumi plugin works with Redshift itself. So let's put in some soft shadows there, and that's starting to look interesting. Yeah, again, you can see if I adjust our f-stop, it has no effect on the Redshift scene. So use the f-stop in Redshift just to get that looking right. Okay, let's bring those sharp shadows down. You don't want them pin sharp, but you can see there that you can actually adjust it. Now I am using IPR at the moment, so you can see everything's quite interactive. So Illumi does work with IPR. It's only our object plugins that aren't supporting right now. So this is a great way of actually look deving your scene. But you can see maybe you don't want to just look dev with one HDRI. And the powerful thing with Illumi is you can load in as many HDRIs as you like, and each one can have a different setting. So you see, now I'll just go back over to the progressive standard rendering. It's working with both, which is great. Right, let's minimize that. So next, what I want to do is, let me see. So let's fire up Illumi again, and let's bring in another HDRI. So you can see there's two ways about it. You can either go to the main UI that I just brought up, or you can click this little plus button, which will bring it up for you within the compass. And then what we want to do here, again, follow the same process as before. Select the physical camera and import that. Takes a few seconds to load in. You can see here I kept the background image in. I prefer to actually switch that off. So you can switch it off down here to show background. So we now have two HDRIs in there, and we can now start to adjust and change each one of those. So that was our original we've just looked at. Start IPR. Now you can see the second HDRI is a dusk shot. Let's just rotate that around so we can, maybe we want to see a sunset. Something to point out here, I have not changed the materials or the shaders on the car, which is why it's sort of, it's not quite right. It's got almost a flat metallic look to it. But again, shaders, Redshift shaders, all of that, go to Redshift's website to learn more about that. This is demonstrating how you use Illumi. So that's basically it. It's once you've got the hang of how you actually load it in and load as many HDRIs as you like, you can actually flick through and look dev your scene. If you want more help, go to our help docs from the question mark in the plugin. That is going to teach you everything you need to know. We have training videos there as well. And yeah, there's the UI for both the importer and the helper. So I hope you have enjoyed this video and interested in trying out Illumi. Thank you very much.